Okay, we're going to make the square, the ribbed square, that will start our pillow cover. I'm making a 12" by 12". You can make it any size you want just by adding more rounds. I'm using 2 colors. You can use as many colors as you like. Each color gets 2 rows, and the next color gets 2 rows, and you'll continue that pattern. I am using Bernat Blanket super bulky 6-weight yarn. This is Almond. This is white. This is actually less expensive, but very, very, very similar yarn, or you can use the Bernat Blanket in white. I will leave a link for this yarn. I don't remember the brand name, but I'll leave a link for it. I'm going to use my Almond as my color A, and I'm going to start with a magic circle, magic ring. This is how I make mine. I put the tail in front, bring my yarn around. On top of that, make an X, bring my hook under the first part of the X, over the second part of the X, pull it under. You can just kind of let it hang now. Make sure you're using your working yarn. Make a chain, and that kind of holds it together. As I go, I like to unravel that tail. All right, now we're going to make a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that is going to be part of your first corner. You'll see as we go along how that works out. It keeps everything nice and straight and even. Now we're going to make 3 double crochets. Make sure you're going under the tail into the circle, so you'll have 2 strands there that you're working. So 1 double crochet, 2, and 3. I love this yarn. It's so soft. It does kind of grab your hook a bit. All right, you have 3 double crochet. Now chain 2. That's what it's looking like. I tend to push this out as I'm going, so every now and then I'll pull on it. If you're used to a much silkier yarn, it takes a while to get used to the fact that this grabs. All right, we did our chain 2, 3 more double crochet. 1, 2. Always make sure you're going into the circle and under that tail. And here's my 3. So we had a chain 4, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, chain 2. It's part of our first corner, a side, a corner, a side. All right, we have our chain 2. That's going to be our next corner. There's my circle. I just tightened it up a little bit. Another 3 double crochet. This is our third side. 1, 2, 3 double crochet, and chain 2. Let me pull that tail through again. Okay, so we have, there's a corner, a side, a corner, a side, a corner, a side. 3 sides. Our square needs 4 sides, so this is going to be our 4th side. And this is going to be the 3rd double crochet. So you only need 2. Make sure you're going under that tail. Can't stress that enough. So that was 1 double crochet after my chain 2. Make sure I have that tail. 2 double crochet, And now we're going to go into the third chain here. Well, here's how I do it. I don't want to go into that stitch because that's the double crochet. I don't want to go into this one because that's going to be my chain. If you want to have chain 2 here, you would chain 5 to begin with, but I find that that leaves too big of a hole. So I don't go into this stitch, I don't go into this stitch, I go into the next one, if that makes sense. Just push right through, pull through, and make a slip stitch. We're going to continue with this color because we're going to have 2 rounds for each color. Pull. There. It's going the wrong way. I had turned over to see which way I was going. All right. So I've made my slip stitch. Now I'm going to go into that chain space, grab that yarn, and make another slip stitch. And we're going to do another chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to come back around. This is going to actually have 3 double crochet. So when we come all the way back around, we'll make 2 double crochet here and join. So now this is your corner. 3 more double crochet. Every corner is going to have 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. But this is our first corner of the round. It's a square that's worked in around. It'll make sense to you when we come all the way around. I hope it'll make sense to you. We're not starting our ridges yet. We start that on the next round. Jump over to this corner. And this corner gets 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So that was 1, going right into that chain space. 2, 3 double crochet into that chain space, chain 2, and another 3 double crochet. It's going to get crowded in here. This is very thick yarn, super bulky. It makes a nice thick pillow cover. I'm also going to make a coordinating blanket, so be looking for that in the near future. All right, we're going to skip over the next 3 double crochet from the previous round. Find that chain space, the corner. See how we made another corner there? Again, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. 1, all in that chain space. 2, 3, and chain 2. Since we're making a corner, we need another 3 double crochet. That chain 2 made a corner, or corner chain space. 1, 2, and 3. Let's see where we are. We have 1, 2, 3. Let's go back over here. Next chain space, corner, jump over to that. And again, very repetitive. 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3. Chain 2. And another 3. Oh, there go my dogs. One. 2 and 3. A corner and a corner. All right, now here's where we are. It's pretty, it's so cushy. This was our first corner space. We have the last 3, and that would be your chain, and this would be the first double crochet of that corner. The reason I like to do it this way is it keeps everything straight, and I don't have to turn the square back and forth. All right, so I want to have 2 double crochet at the beginning. That's going to be my third one. So I have to go into that chain space from the previous round with 2 double crochet. And now we're going to join up to this chain. Not in this one, not in this one, but here in this one. With a slip stitch. And now we're going to change color because we have 2 rounds. I'm going to switch over to my white and let me find the beginning. Dropped my yarn. All right, I found my yarn. I'm just going to leave a tail. I'm not going to cut this. You can if you want to. You can cut it every round and weave it in. It's not going to show from the back because this is going to be the front of your pillow cover. But just leave it hanging. Don't work over it. Just leave it there. Pull this through and make your second slip stitch. And with this, you know what? I'm going to use the tail also in my first chain. Chain 1, find that tail and just pull it on through. That just helps keep it in place. So that was my chain 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is where we're going to start making our ridges when we get over here. The ridges always start on 2 rounds below. Okay, so we started our corner and we're going to make the next 3 double crochet of this corner. Corners are always the same. One, 2. I have a tendency to think I have 3 because I'm in a hurry. Make sure you keep counting. All right, we're going to skip over to the next space. We're going to make 1 double crochet. As I said, this is where we start making our ridges, our front post stitches, because this is 2 rounds below. We're going to find that middle double crochet and we're going to make a front post treble. So you're going to go around twice. Come in front here. Pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2 of those loops. You have 3 loops left, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through 2, and that brings it up nice and tall. And staying in that same space, make your 3rd stitch, which is another double crochet. Every time you reach a space, you're going to have either 3 stitches or or it'll be a corner. Now the next one is a corner, so jump over there, 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and 3 double crochet, 1, 2, and 3, all in that same chain space. Getting crowded in there, but that's the way it's supposed to be. Whoops. And 3. 3, chain 2, 3. Here's how it's looking. Now you see a lot of spaces here. My pillow form is white, so that's going to be just fine. There's our next space. There's our 3 double crochet from 2 rounds below, and that's where we'll make our next front post stitch. First come in with a double crochet, and then we're going to come all the way down here with a treble crochet, front post, push that forward. That's what makes that nice textured ridge. Pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2. Nice tall stitch. It's in the middle. Make sure you're staying in that same space, and make your last stitch of that space, which is a double crochet. So it's double crochet, front post treble, double crochet. Same as over here. If you feel like your stitches are too tight, move up to an 11 or a 12 millimeter. This is a 10 millimeter. Okay, we're going to jump over, make another corner. We're in the corner again. 1, 2. You can obviously fast forward this. Like I said, it's very repetitive. I want to go through this round and the next one, and then it'll all be the same until we get to the border. So there's 3, chain 2, and another 3 because it's a corner in the same chain space. 1, 2, and 3. So cushy. So soft. All right, and here we are. There's our 3 from 2 rounds below. So we're going to start in this space with a double crochet. Should be making sense to you now. We're going to come down and make a front post treble, yarn over 2 times, push that forward, bring your yarn behind that post, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and we need 1 more double crochet in that very same space. And we have another corner. Look how pretty that is. The sun's coming out. All right, corner. You know what to do now. 3 double crochet. Chain 2. And 1, 2, 3. This and all my patterns are free on my website, www.i-crochet.com, if you prefer to see a written pattern. I like both. I like videos, and I like to have the written pattern to refer to. All right, there's that next chain space, so a double crochet. We want to come all the way down here. Make sure you're going in the middle. There's 1, 2, 3. Make sure you're going in the middle with a treble. Yarn over twice. I'm going to just push it forward with my finger so I know what I'm doing. I'm going to bring that yarn back behind it. Yarn over, pull through 2 of those loops. Yarn over, pull through the next 2, and you have 2 left. Yarn over and pull through those. So I have a double crochet, a front post treble, and I need another double crochet right in that same space. Now for some squares, instead of just having a space there, you would have a chain, but with this yarn being so thick, it leaves its own space, so you don't need to worry with the chain there in between. All right, we're back to that first corner, so we need two more double crochet because we have 3 here. That's your chain. That's considered one of our double crochet. We need 2 more right here in that chain space from below. So 2 right here. If you prefer, you could start each corner, instead of just starting with this, you could start with a double crochet and then the chain. And then when you come back around, only make 1 double crochet here. But this worked for me, so that's the way I'm going to do it. And now I'm going to connect with a slip stitch. Not this stitch, because that's part of your double crochet. Not this chain, but the next one. Just anywhere in there. And it does end up looking like a double crochet. Now I've only gone 1 round with the white. Remember, we're going to go 2 rounds with each color. Let me untangle my yarn a little bit. It's not tangled, I just had it wrapped around. This yarn does not tangle easily. Okay, that was my first slip stitch. So I'm going to go back into that chain space, bring it through with another slip stitch that just connects everything. See how pretty? The first one I actually made a rectangle, but this is so bulky, it was coming out really, really thick. So I decided to go with a square. And the first one I used white as color A and almond as color B, and that's also really pretty. I just love these colors together, very nice and neutral. Oops. And they go with pretty much anything. The chair cushions in my front sitting room where I usually crochet are these color, the almond color. All right, so I've done both of my slip stitches. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And as I said, if you would prefer to do double crochet there and then a chain 4 next to it, you could do that. All right, now here's our other 3 double crochet for that corner. 1, 2, 3. This yarn, as I said, the white is a different brand, but it's very, very similar. I will say I was not happy because it came vacuum sealed. I was really afraid that it was just going to be super flat. It's not quite as fluffy as the Bernat, but it's very similar, and it was a huge savings. All right. So now you have this is 2 rounds below because that's our last round, and this is 2 rounds below. So this is what we're going to be working into, these two. Okay, so make your first double crochet in that space. And now you need to wrap around twice for your treble. Find your middle double crochet from the 2 rounds below. You always know because there's going to be a big gap there. And this is what helps close up the gap. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through, pull through 2, and make your next double crochet in that same space. See, the last time we went into that one, and now we're using these. So we're going to swoosh over here to this space with a double crochet, yarn over twice, come down to this series of 3 double crochets from 2 rounds below, find the middle one, push it forward, going to do front post treble. If you get tired of watching the same thing, just fast forward. But I know some people like to just follow along. I know I do when I'm learning something new. I like to just follow along. There was my last double crochet for that space. And here's how we're looking. It's really pretty. And my goodness, so soft. All right, find that next chain space, the corner, and we're going to make another corner. 3 double crochet. There's 2. And there's 3. I need to pull some more yarn. Okay, got it. I was not able to do a center pull from this yarn. I was from the Bernat. Chain 2, 3 corner, and we need another 3 double crochet. 1, do that same corner chain space from the previous round. 2 and 3. Let me check myself. 3, chain 2 and 3. And this is pretty too, how it works. Kind of looks like puff stitches, like little hearts. Okay, we're going to jump over here, make your double crochet. You're going to come down, find your middle double crochet, make your front post treble, and another double crochet. So double crochet, yarn over twice. There's my middle double crochet from 2 rounds below. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Bring it on up there, and I still need my other double crochet. Very important. And we're going to do the same thing in this space. You'll start knowing because you'll have that space, and then you'll see your three double crochets from the 2 rounds below, and it'll just visually make sense to you. And there's my last double crochet of that set, and back to a corner. Okay, I think you probably have it now. I'm going to go ahead and finish these two sides, and I'll meet you when we get back to this original chain for the corner. Okay, I am back to my initial chain, my other 3 double crochet from that first corner. So I need to come in here, the chain space from the previous round, with 2 double crochet, which is actually the beginning of my first corner. So you make the beginning of your first corner at the end of your round. Here's my 2. This counts as the third. I'm not going to go in this one or this one. I'm going to go in this one. And that leaves us with a space. Now, we're going to switch colors again because I've done 2 rounds. I have another one that I'm working on that I used 4 different colors, 2 rounds each. And that's really pretty. That's going to be a pattern coming up for a blanket that has a pocket in it to fold it into a pillow. I'll show you that in probably a couple of weeks. Alright, so there was my initial slip stitch. I'm going to come over here and find the yarn that I dropped. Just pull it up. Like I said, it's not going to show. You can just push it aside. So I want to bring that through. I'm drop the white yarn. Come through. Bring that color A through. And just make your chain 4. And you're going to start all over again. Alright, I now have 7 rounds. There's 2 color A, 2 color B, 2 color A, and 1 of color A, color B. Now, you can continue to change colors every 2 rows if you want. I'm going to continue this round only with my color B, and then I'm going to switch to color A, and I'm going to stick with color A the rest of the time. It's up to you if you want to continue to change them out every 2 rows. So now I want to close up my gaps here. I've decided it's about close to 12 inches. And I want to start closing it up and then just make an edge for us to be able to seam. And then we'll start making the back panel attached right to this. So I've come up to my corner like normal, came through and made my slip stitch in that chain. I'm going to come through the chain space, make a slip stitch, I'm going to chain 1, and come in here. We're going to switch over to single crochets just for this row. Single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and you're just making a small corner here. Okay, and now we're going to go into every stitch with a single crochet until you get to your next gap there, and we'll close that up. So this counts right next to the chain space. Go right into that stitch with a single crochet. Like I said, we're just kind of tightening up this edge here so that we can make a nice border, and that'll make it easy when we have to seam the front and the back panels together. we've reached that gap. So I want to come down with my treble, my front post treble, like we had been doing. 1, 2, and 3. Now make sure you skip a stitch because that's where your treble stitch is. And go to the next stitch with a single crochet. And the next stitch, single crochet. And we've come up on our gap again. So again, make a front post treble. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Make sure you skip that stitch that's behind it and go into the next one with a single crochet. See how it's closing it up? But it's still maintaining the pattern. All right, that's all you're going to do. I'll meet you when we get down to the corner. Right, I reached the corner. I made my treble, front post treble there. I had a stitch left here. I have one here. Remember, we're doing all single crochet. And now in the corner, just one single crochet, chain 1, one single crochet. If you feel like your corner is not rounding out enough, you can do 2 single crochet, chain 1 and 2 single crochet. That'll work out just fine. So continue, remember, kind of pull this over, that's your first stitch. And just continue that all the way around, just like we just did. It's going to look like this. And I'll meet you when we get to that very first corner. Okay. Getting there. All right, I'm back to my original corner. I am trying to lose my voice. I hope I can hang in there. Get this done. There's my first, let's see. It's a single crochet and a chain and a single crochet. I had a slip stitch there. Let's just work into here with a slip stitch. I am finished with my color B, so I can cut that and bring it through and weave it in later. I can also work over it in this next round. I'm going to be using herringbone half double crochet. You can do regular half double crochet if you like. You can do single crochet if you like. I did not want to do single crochet because 1, it would be very thick, not move around all that well, and 2, it wouldn't grow fast enough for me. I like things quick and easy. So this is what it's looking like. See how that closed up those gaps? And then I have my little corner spaces. You can maneuver it around. You can pull on it. I love how that middle looks. My other one that I'm working on, I haven't finished up the edges on this. This is the white in the middle. And this one's actually a little bit of a rectangle. I'm still working on that. Instead of doing 3 and 3 and 3 and 3, I did 3 on 2 sides, 3, these are double crochets, 3 single chain and 3, and then 3 double crochets with chain 2 in between in the corners, another 3 double crochet, chain 1 and 3 double crochet, and then the pattern is the same. It didn't end up being as much of a rectangle as I wanted, but it is a little bit of a rectangle. But see how that looks like a snowflake? Isn't it pretty? Okay. It looks like my microphone wants to die, so I'll be right back. All right, I'm having some trouble with my microphones. One viewer got apparently a little upset that she couldn't hear me. She said to speak up, I can't hear you, with a lot of exclamation marks. Sorry, that's just my voice. All right, let's bring that over so we can work over it. Now I'm going to bring up my color A. It probably would have been better to do a chain 2 just so you can see your chain space better. And mine's right there. I just didn't want it to have a big hole there. Okay, I'm going to bring this through. With a slip stitch. And there we go. We're going to start our first herringbone half double crochet, yarn over, bring your yarn up, pull through that first loop, yarn over, and pull through the last 2 loops. All right, we're in there. And we're going to chain 2. Yarn over, go back into that same chain space, pull it up nice and high, pull that first loop through the second loop, yarn over, and pull through those 2 loops. That's just a herringbone half double crochet. And when you're going in the round, it's so pretty because you get that slanted stitch all the way around. All right, so we're going to, a little piece of fuzz there. We're going to go in every stitch with a herringbone half double crochet. And every corner is going to get 1 herringbone half double crochet and a chain 2. If you think it looks better making 2 herringbone half double crochets in the corner, you go right ahead and do that. It will just make your corner a little rounder. All right, every single stitch should be easy now because these are all single crochets from your previous round. Just make sure you're pulling that up. All right, and through 2. And you'll end up with these little lines. They slant, and then you have these nice little lines. I think you're going to like it. All right, I'll meet you when we get all the way back. Remember, every corner gets the herringbone half double crochet, a chain 1, or chain 2 rather, and a herringbone half double crochet. I'm going to pull that through. All right, I'll meet you when we get back to that corner. Okay, I am back to my first corner, and I'm just simply going to slip stitch into that first herringbone half double crochet, or half double crochet if that's what you chose to use, which would be perfectly lovely. There we go, and a slip stitch. Just want to show you how that's looking. It almost looks braided to me, kind of like braided rope. I'm going to go around probably one more time. I think that's going to be big enough. Just measure it up to whatever pillow you have. Make sure it comes over and just meets the seam of your pillow. Just pull it over the top because when we seam this together, we don't want it to be loose at all. Once you put that pillow in, you want it to be nice and snug. And like I said, don't worry with these holes showing anything through because the pillow cover, or at least mine, is white. So that's not going to hurt anything. All right, so I'm just going to continue on. I made my slip stitch here. So I'm going to come into my corner space. And it's just going to be the same exact thing. Herringbone half double, chain 2, And that worked out nicely for my corners. And another herringbone half double. And then we're just going to work into each stitch from the previous round. And I'll meet you when we get back to the first corner. Okay, I am back to my corner. I'm happy with the size. This is how it looks with 2 rounds. We have 2 rounds of herringbone half double crochet, or whatever stitch you decided you wanted to use. It's your pillow. All right, there's that first stitch. So let's just go right into there with a slip stitch. And I want to also, let's see, how do I want to do this? You can just go into the corner, I think would work fine. With another slip stitch, just to get you to the edge there. Not sure if I like that. Hang on. I think I want to actually come into the chain. I don't want to pull that corner up too much. All right, I'm happier with that. Chain 1, and now we're going to start working back and forth in rows, like you would normally, like a blanket. When we get here, we're going to do the same thing, join here with probably just a chain 1. I'm not sure. We'll see when we get there. And I'm just going to continue making herringbone half double crochet. We're going to continue on. I'll show you how we start this row. I want to make it at least 4 inches longer than the front panel of my pillow cover. Okay, so I did my chain 1. I'm going to turn my work. Now I'm on the back side. And I'm just going to start in that very first stitch. I already have my chain 1. That's all you need is chain 1. Herringbone half double. And every stitch across gets the herringbone half double. If you're following my pattern, you can make it however you want. If you want to make it a nice bumpy texture, then you can do a lemon peel stitch, which is simply a single crochet followed by a double crochet. And then when you make your next row, you make a single crochet into each double crochet and a double crochet into each single crochet. I have blankets with that stitch. It's really pretty and has a nice texture. And as I said, if you did just plain half double, it would look lovely. And it would probably be faster. I just happen to love this stitch. Okay, so when we get back over here, we're going to go into that chain. Chain 1, come back, and continue on with your rows. Okay, I'm at the end of the row. I did go into my chain space, and I'm just making a herringbone half double, a chain 1. That came out nice and even there, and I'm going to turn my work. I'm back on the right side of my pillow cover form, front panel. There we go. Ooh, my table got crooked. So again, this is going to be your back. It's going to fold over and just keep going until it's at least 4 inches longer, so that we'll have an overlap, and we'll make a little button loop right in the center. All right, I'll meet you when I'm ready to make my last row, and then we'll seam it up. Okay, I'm back. What I thought was a 12 by 12 pillow, if I had looked, is actually a 16 by 16. And this is going to fit it perfectly by making my, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 rounds, and then adding the single crochet border and then 2 half double herringbone half double crochet borders. That makes it perfect for a 16 by 16. If you want to make it for 12 by 12, I would delete 2 rows here, and then that will bring it back down. This is going to be just right. I continued on, let's turn it this way, and made my all herringbone or herringbone half double crochet. I did not count the rows. I just made it about 18 inches. This is about 14 inches because you want it smaller than what your pillow form is, so it will fit nice and tight. So this is somewhere close to 18 inches. The reason I need it to be longer is I'm going to fold it. It's going to, your pillow, let's see if I can show you once I have it seamed up. This is going to go in here. It will be seamed at the sides, through all those thicknesses, and then on all your sides. And when you put your pillow in, it will come up, and this is going to hold it in. And if you want to, you probably will want to put a button right there in the middle and just run it through one of the holes back here, and that's going to hold it in. That'll just keep that nice and flat. So now I need to put right sides together, and there, I need to find where my back panel started. So you find all your corners. That was my last corner, so that's where my back panel started. Fold it over. Look at it without looking at the camera. Okay, that's where my back panel started. So that should leave you your single crochet row and 2 rows of your border. So just go around now. Make sure it's nice and even. Remember, this is your right side, so we're folding this, this little bit, so that when you put your pillow, you're going to turn this right side out. This is going to keep it tucked in. So get your stitch markers and just very carefully make sure everything's even. If you don't have any stitch markers, just use a different color yarn, and just very, very carefully make sure that everything is nice and even all the way around. You're not going to stitch the top at all. You can either just use your yarn in a tapestry needle, or you can crochet it together. I'm going to crochet mine together. It'll be a little bulkier, but I feel like it stays together a little bit better. Okay. I'll meet you back here when I have it all seamed together. Okay, I ended up making mine. This is actually going to fit a 16 by 16 pillow form. It's 14 by 14 inches. If you want to make it smaller, just take out 2 rounds at a time of your ridge post stitches rounds, but still maintain your single crochet and and 2 herringbone half double crochet edges. This is 14 by 14 now, and it's going to fit a 16 by 16 pillow form just right. Obviously, if you want to do 18 by 18, make it 16 by 16. Just keep going, making it bigger. Now you need to figure out where your herringbone half double crochet rows your back panel started, and you're going to fold it over the right side. You want your right sides together. Alright. And we're going to fold the excess. I made mine about 4 inches longer than the front panel. Okay. So there's your right side. You want this to be folded over here. Make sure all your edges are even. Make sure that at the bottom you have it even, so that the bottom edge is the same width as the top edge. Use stitch markers or contrasting color yarn, and make sure all your edges are put together nice and evenly before you start putting it together. You can either sew it with just matching yarn and a tapestry needle, or you can crochet it together with either a slip stitch going through all layers or a single crochet. I'm going to do a single crochet, and I'm going to try and catch just one loop of each of these edge pieces. But also when you're at your fold here, make sure you come through all of those. When you turn it back over, let's see if I can show you. This is going to be on the inside. When you put your pillow in, pillow form, it's going to tuck into this, and then I'm going to put a button right here in the middle just to hold it. Is that making sense to you? All right, so make sure, go through and get that back where I'm supposed to be, and make sure you put your stitch markers in, because you don't want to start sewing until you know you have it correct. And I'll be back when I have mine stitched together. All right, I was having a little bit of trouble determining from the inside if this bottom edge was even, so I'm going to come on the outside and put my stitch marker there. And the others are where they're supposed to be. And I'll do the other corner, and then I'll get back to it. I'll show you how I start my single crochet. All right, I'm at my bottom corner. You can use a smaller hook if you prefer. Probably would be better. This is still my 10mm hook. I'm gonna try to grab just one loop from either side, so it doesn't become really bulky. There's my slip knot. Pull that through. Chain one. You can just work over your tail now. And just go back and forth. Try to find one loop. There we go. And another one on the other side that's approximately in the same position. There we go. I'm going to make single crochets. You can do slip stitches if you prefer. I want to make sure that I don't get any puckering. So that's all that is, and that's what it'll look like. Like I said, I'm just trying to grab one loop at a time. If you happen to skip over one, it's not going to be a great big deal. Bring through. And there you go. Now I'm going to go all the way up. I want to be especially careful when I get here. I want to make sure I'm even at the top, because that's where it's going to go in. And I want to make sure that I go through all the layers, all the thicknesses here. That should all be together. All right. Oops, sorry about that. Now I'll meet you at the end when I have finished all my seaming and see if I want to put a button on here, which I think I will. All right, this is how the first seam is looking. I seamed all those thicknesses together. And that's how it's looking down the side seam. So I'll do that again on the other side, and then I'll meet you when I'm finished. All right, I finished my seams. I turned it right side out, pushed my corners in with my fingers down each corner. You can see where I only went through one loop. That left a nice line going up the seam. I like that. And then this is where the overlap tucks in. And now I'm ready to put my pillow form in there. I'll be right back. I'm really happy with how this is coming out. Here's the end where it folds in like an envelope. I'm going to be putting a button, just this little toggle button right here. And I might possibly put two more. I'm not sure about that. This is just going to hold it down for me. I'll be right back. I'll show you some pictures. So instead of a button, I've just made a chain of 30. Make it longer, shorter if you like. And I found approximately the middle, the top here. Zoop, 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 zoop. And just run that through that chain. And then just attach it down here, run through, make a little bow, and that holds it just perfectly. That's all that I need. I just needed it to stay put, and that's going to be the bottom of the pillow cover. So that's that. It's exactly what I wanted. A little bit bigger than I had planned. Like I said, I thought it was a 12 by 12. But it actually was a 16 by 16, and I just love it. I will show you some pictures of it. All right, here's my finished pillow. 16 by 16. Came out just how I wanted. I hope you enjoy it. You can find all my patterns at www.i-crochet.com.